Okay, back like we never left. B.D.A. I'm here to talk about One Piece, obviously. But also, something that I've been thinking about. Is One Piece the best it's ever been? I'm just thinking of my weekly experience currently through Wano. Is One Piece currently the best it's ever been? We'll address that because, I mean, this year alone, One Piece has not missed, really. There've been a few chapters where it's been slow, just slow, not bad, slow, but One Piece hasn't really missed. I don't know, a lot of people say that. You see people say that all the time, but I think delving deeper into actually why One Piece hasn't missed is something that I'll probably talk about one day, but I do think it's something that needs to be said. Spoilers will be in this video, so if you haven't read the recent chapter, please come back after you read it, or just if you don't care about spoilers, you can continue. What would be a miss, though, is if you don't subscribe to this channel. So if you haven't clicked that red button, you can click it right now, drop a like, turn on post notifications so you don't want to be in that category, okay? Once you do that, let's continue. Going back thinking about Roof Piece, thinking about the revelations from Kaido, Yamato, how Luffy has developed, Momonosuke as a character, I think this arc has the requisite parts to be a classic. So I went back yesterday and I reread some of Water 7 and some of Enies Lobby, some of my favorite moments, some of my favorite parts. At that point, I was still binging One Piece, so I can't say that comparing it to right now is very difficult because I'm waiting week to week. The anticipation is building. I wasn't creating content and I wasn't being mildly influenced by the community. Having a channel, having a community, it influences the experience. So every week, knowing that I can talk about One Piece with people that I know, people that I don't know, it's fun. Back then it was me by myself because all my friends that I knew, they were pretty casual. All they watched was Naruto. But again, back to Enies Lobby before I get further off the path. There were some amazing moments in Enies Lobby. I think how it all came together because Oda made us care about Nico Robin, her plight. The Straw Hats basically going against the world, not just the world government. Enies Lobby Water 7 made it feel like they were going against the world. CP0 felt like this overwhelming force that the Straw Hats could not even dream to surpass. Just based off of how they dominated initially, it's like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. But then they grew. They all grew and learned, and their powers manifested in different ways. And in a way, the same thing is happening here. Going into Wano, going into Onigashima, it felt overwhelming, especially based on what Law said about Kaido. Oh, we have 30% chance to beat him. Well, that's obviously increased, right? Because every single person have grown in their own way. In the recent chapter with Yamato, I think it was a very important chapter for different reasons. I may have downplayed the importance of Yamato and her strife because of how it personally connects to me. And I think that's a bit unfair, right? Because it doesn't personally connect to me that much because I think it's been drawn out, Yamato wanting to be Odin, but there's a lot of deeper things going on there. With Yamato, being Odin is her safe space. What Kaido has done to her is try to isolate her to make her feel like the only path to greatness is through him and what he wants. It's very manipulative and it's very sad, especially when you think about her life and the people that she's looked up to, people that she's cared about, they've all died. And I'm going to cover some of it based on the SBS volume 100, where for Ushimaru, it's confirmed that, you know, he's one of the samurai that was in the cave. Based on what we know about Onimaru, Ushimaru went to confront Kaido after Odin died and then he died. I've been seeing some pushback on Ushimaru and some of the samurai going to fight Kaido after Odin died, saying, well, why didn't you do it when Odin was alive? You guys you guys are master swordsmen. You probably would have had a better chance to defeat Kaido if you were all together. I mean, the story pretty much implied that with Hyogoro, Odin, Yasu. If you add Ushimaru and those other two, it would have been a better chance. However, one thing we have to take into consideration, what Odin and the Scabbards were trying to do is use stealth to apprehend Kaido, is kind of ambush them, catch them off guard. But of course, they were alerted by Kandro. The only person that was privy, I believe, was Yasu, because Yasu was asked to watch his family. So I still think you should have brought those guys in, right? The more firepower, the better. I question some of Odin's actions, right? Especially the dancing and how he felt like that was going to save the country. But regardless, it does not destroy the story plot. It is not a retcon. It makes sense based on what the Scabbards and Odin was trying to do. They just had a traitor that knew everything they were going to do. Like thinking about Enies Lobby, thinking about Wano, I think we're in the golden era of One Piece in regards to enjoyment for me personally. Marineford is up there. Sabaody, obviously. Impel Down was spectacular. An arc that's very near and dear to my heart is Baratie. I think it had so many character moments for just so many people in that arc. It's really an amazing arc. But Wano, especially Onigashima, I can't deny it anymore. It is in my top 5. Again, my experience is enhanced by the fact that I'm reading this week to week with the community. Every time I can experience this with a community, it is amazing. And I thank you guys every single day because I truly appreciate the support. Every single week, the revelations, just the discussion around it, it's spectacular. Again, I think there hasn't been more discussion than Whole Cake Island because Whole Cake Island was indeed a polarizing arc. Every single week, there was something for people to argue about. about. Wano has not been that. Where Whole Cake Island, while it was more polarizing, it wasn't better because there were more things that people complained about. In Wano, there have been an overwhelming amount of support for the manga, and we can't forget about the anime and how spectacular the anime has been in most cases. Just something to think about. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think Wano is the best it's ever been right now? Because I think there's genuinely a case for that. However, right now we're going to cover and talk about the SBS Volume 100. I had planned on making a video about it, but I didn't get around to it yet. So I was like, you know what? Why not talk about it now? Because a lot of the things in that SBS, they were very relevant to what's happening right now, even in chapter 1025. But first, I got a special treat for you guys. Okay guys, this video is sponsored by Boku, and Boku is a premium Japanese snack subscription service. I've been wanting to try this for a while, so I'm happy they reached out. I'm happy I get to try a few snacks for you guys, but this is pretty exciting. I'm not gonna lie, because I've been waiting for this for a while. What I love about Boku is that it's a monthly service, right? And every month it's a different theme. It kind of gives you a taste of Japan, and the fact that we're in the Wano arc right now, I think it's absolutely perfect. Look at the box. The box is fantastic. And the good part as well is that a lot of these snacks, they're made exclusively for Boku, so you can't get the snacks anywhere else. So, okay, without further ado, let's try some snacks. Oh my gosh. It says discover Japan through snacks. Look at that. So, look at this box. Look how neat it is. We have Mochan Dango Mochi. This is amazing. So, this must be the plum, I believe. Whoa, look at that. See that? Okay. Holy crap. This is the Dango Mochi. This is really good. I mean, it's sweet and it's chewy. This is really damn good. I would buy this. Okay, maybe let's eat one more. What the heck? What is this? This is the uni rice cracker. I'm still finishing two of my mochis. And they last so long. Rice cracker. The uni rice cracker. This is like, huh? I don't know. Hold on. It's not tough, but it's solid. It has like I don't want to say seafood, but soy, but it's like a cracker. It's not bad. What is this? White strawberry. This is white strawberry by Kotobuki Seika. Vegetarian. It's sweet. They have also allergens if you're, the common allergens and things that's made of it. So if you, are allergic to those things, you don't have to eat this. This is the world's first chocolate infused strawberry. So let's try this out. Oh wow, smells good. Okay. Harder than I thought. It almost tastes like one of those like cream chocolates with a strawberry tinge to it. This is pretty good as well. Oh shit. Ooh. Bro, what the heck? This is senbei. This is edamame senbei. This is pretty good. Okay. Bro, this candy has alcohol. What the heck is 0.1% alcohol content? All right, let's give it a try. I guess that's why it's so hard to open, because it has alcohol in it. All right, let's try one. This is pretty damn good. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't recommend it for children or even younger kids because it's really slippery. Like it's really, really slippery in your mouth. It's almost like lemonade in candy form. That's pretty unique. And it's the sake candy. Wow, this is good. Hey, more mochi puffs. I guess it's like, I broke the bag. Mochi puffs. Okay. This is good as well. It's like, it does taste like nuts, but it dissolves really easily. I'm gonna keep eating this, but I don't have that much time. If you'd like your own box, you can use my code LAW10 and the link below, and you can save up to 10% off your own Japanese subscription box. Again, everything I've tried so far is really good. All right, so use my code below for your own box. It is fantastic. Trust me, okay? This is really, really good, and it gives us a taste of Japan. So thank you, Boku, again. This was amazing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Right now I'm going to delve into SBS Volume 100. I'm not going to cover every single thing. I'm just going to cover relevant topics in regards to what's going on right now and things that are probably interesting that you should know. So the first question that I think is relevant to what's going on right now is someone asking, are Ulti and Page 1 real siblings? Page 1 seems to call her with a term that feels more like it could also be an older female friend, not just big sister, so I'm very curious about the two. Oda says, yeah, they are brother and sister. It appears their father was a pirate too, but he passed away. Kaido knew their father, so he ended up taking the two with him afterwards. Ulti was very smart. She stole 2 devil fruits that Kaido had and made both her and her brother into capable forces so that they could survive in this pirate crew where the strong make it and the weak get devoured. They even managed to become Toby Roppo. That's pretty significant based on this chapter because Kaido in this chapter, he's somewhat denouncing humans, and to get the insinuation that Kaido raised both Page 1 and Ulti, it doesn't feel like it's within his character. It feels like it's completely separate. It feels like another side of Kaido that we really haven't seen, especially based on how he treats Yamato. But again, it said that Kaido knew their father, so based off of that, he took in Page 1 and Ulti. But they understood being a part of that pirate crew, they had to fight for themselves, and they took 2 devil fruits, and then they became Toby Roppo. So cool story. I am craving Kaido's backstory. For Page 1 and Ulti, I wonder if Oda's gonna do a crazy twist where it's like Kaido actually killed their father and they don't know yet, and then it comes back around. Something, I don't know. Or it could just be a sentimental thing where Kaido is actually friends with their father. But based on Kaido's dialogue and actions so far, has he ever really had a relationship like that? Someone who's supposed to be a big sister to him, he disrespects constantly, doesn't really care for that much in Big Mom. It's weird, it's odd, but I thought that was pretty interesting in the recent SBS. Another relevant question is, they said a question to Mr. Oda. In the Flower Capital, we see this person. Is that Shinobu as a man? Oda said, oh my, you found that out? How can you say such a rude thing like Shinobu? He's actually Shinobu's older brother, and his name is Shinobu Uke. He loved his sister and knew that Shinobu would be hunted down and killed for being a renegade after he left the Gote gang. So he became a renegade himself, protecting his sister while acting as a Kozuki samurai. So again, something that's somewhat relevant, but Shinobu has a brother that's looking over her. So I wonder if that's going to play a part going forward in the story, if he's going to have to save her, make a sacrifice, because Oda created that character for a reason, I believe. Another interesting question is about Kaido's weapon. So there'd been speculation about Kaido's weapon being one of the supreme grades. Oda dispelled that here. Kaido's weapon is regular. Here's the question. Oda Sensei, I have a question. Does the weapon used by Kaido have a name? In addition, it anthropomorphized will be how handsome. Oda says, here comes a question that I'm good at. Look first, the weapon is called Hasai Kai, a reference to the 8 commandments of Buddhism. It has no ranking, but if Kaido had left it behind, it will also be called a legend, right? Let's see, anthropomorphism. It feels like Kaido is much more scary. So this basically means that Kaido is fighting with a regular weapon. This goes back to Kaido's strength, where if he's fighting with a supreme grade, how much stronger would he be? I mean, it's weird that Kaido's weapon isn't ranked at all. I mean, I don't know if Napoleon is ranked either. That was the assumption, but it's not ranked. It's not a supreme grade great. It's just a weapon. It's just a regular thing that Kaido makes use of. So scary. This is a very relevant question as well. I'd mentioned it in my previous video about the Vivre cards, and it's about Black Maria. Here's the question. They said Black Maria's ability is kind of like Smiles. No? I know what you mean. I know that the hybrid form shouldn't have 2 faces and her arms should be spider-like. However, there is no clear-cut rule for the Zoan transformations. See Chopper. Just like he manipulated his transformations, it is possible for others as well. Black Maria also feels that becoming a full spider woman isn't beautiful at all. So she must have used some drugs to change her hybrid form. Here's the natural one, by the way. It's a very ugly form, and Black Maria, what I'm wondering is, how did she get a drug like that? Chopper, he's a very advanced doctor. Did Black Maria do it herself? Did she get it from someone? Maybe Queen? Has Vegapunk already perfected something like this? Those are questions I'm asking myself when I think about her using a drug to manipulate Zoan transformations. I do love the fact that Oda cleared that up though, because for a lot of us, it didn't make sense. So some final info that's also very relevant. We'll go over it here. It says King was one of the pirates who was amazed by Kaido's strength and decided to join him simply because of how powerful he was. Goes back to Kaido's relationship, where I mentioned, is King only following Kaido because of how strong he is? Because Kaido kind of implied that about Yamato's relationships. So for Kaido, is this the only thing about your relationships? I don't think Ulti's scared of him. I think Ulti says anything she wants to say, so that does not imply fear, but it's something interesting to think about. It says he also went with Kaido to Marineford, but they were both stopped by the Red Hair Pirates. Interesting stuff. Shanks gets another feather in his cap. I mean, he had his entire crew with him, but Kaido's a monster. Luffy's the first opponent that Kaido sees as worthy to fight serious against since Odin, so he's very happy and excited right now. Weird comment. I think this is less about strength and more about belief, attitude, conviction. Where has anyone tried to go against Kaido the way that Luffy is now? Having the conviction that he has, and then Kaido having a feeling about Luffy that he did. Meaning, of course, he had Shanks in that top 5 that he had, right? But did he feel like Shanks was Joy Boy? Did he have any of those previous feelings about any of those other characters? Because that could lead to Kaido being more excited about Luffy because of what he could be implied to be. That's also interesting. King's Zone mode allows him to fly at incredibly high speeds and turn his beak into a spear that does both block the enemy and pierce them all the same. We're gonna find out more about King this arc, and I'm really excited about it. Killer's Punishers create shockwaves at the speed of sound, causing Kaido internal damage. I saw today someone had Killer over Kid in the top 30 strongest One Piece characters, and it's because he caused internal damage to Kaido. Blasphemy, but interesting. I think Killer's powers are being underestimated, and they should have been shown in the story a lot sooner, because for his Punishers and sound, that's incredible. I would like to know more about Killer and Kid, obviously, but Killer. Whose nickname is Drop It because he talks too much. Okay, this is something we all figured. In that entire fight with Jinbei, Who's was talking the entire time. He dropped things about Sun God Nika, talking about the Fishman, had no idea what he was talking about. In regards to the Fishman, he was somewhat ignorant, but he was talking a lot, and I like that his nickname is Drop It so he can stop talking. Sasuke's nickname is Submerged Sasuke because he's drunk all the time. I mean, I guess it makes sense why he would follow someone like Kaido. They probably are great drinking buddies. They are considered the dangerous troublemakers of the Tobiropo, while the siblings are the fools of the group. So I guess Who's and Sasuke, they're the troublemakers. Page One and Ulti, they're the fools. But one thing that everyone understands is that they're all strong. Black Maria, she's a scientist. She's an outlier in many different ways. Sengoku did not just take care of Corazon like a father, but he also did so for Drake after he fled his father's crew. So this is really intriguing because something that was revealed is that Sengoku took care of Drake and Corazon, and he raised those guys up, and now they're great, was great Marines because Corazon died, rest in peace. And then I tweeted something about Corazon and, Sengoku and Garp, and comparing the two about Garp raising Luffy and Ace, and then Sengoku raising Corazon and Drake, and like, Garp, what happened? People are saying, Garp obviously didn't raise them, and I don't think Sengoku raised them either, right? He was an admiral, then fleet admiral, so I'm sure for him, he was probably hands off like Garp was, but he probably put them in an environment that was conducive to becoming a Marine. Garp had Luffy hanging around Shanks, the Don, Ace. You're going to get influenced by your environment, by your surroundings. Lineage matters here as well, but Luffy and Ace, it was inevitable. I'm sorry. Last one is Onimaru's card confirms that after Oden's death, his master went to kill Kaido but died trying, so Onimaru was left alone, and Yamato's handcuff had sea stone in them. So again, confirmed that Ushimaru actually died. I'd mentioned that earlier. Yamato, we were always wondering for the Tobiropo, they had to be at least as strong as Yamato or stronger for them to send the Tobiropo after her. She had sea stone in her cuffs, so she was severely nerfed. That's why Page One and Ulti felt like they had a chance, because Yamato, based on what she's shown right now, none of them would be able to capture Yamato if she's fighting or trying to fight them. None of the Tobiropo, maybe the commanders, but not the Tobiropo. Again, with all this information and everything just coming together, One Piece is in the best place it's ever been. One Piece is the best it's ever been right now in regards to the entire story. People complain about the Viver cards, people complain about the SBS. I think they're necessary because those are things that Oda left out of the story. They could have been in the story, and I'd rather them be in the story, but if they're not going to be, I'd rather get the information, right? So yeah, One Piece is in the best place it's ever been. Every single week there's information, not only from the story, but from the anime, but then from Viver cards, SBS. We're able to consume One Piece like we never have before. And again, in the past, people forget about this, but One Piece, it was not easy to even read or watch One Piece. It was pretty difficult. And now look at us. We have different apps, different websites. It's amazing. So guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about all this? How do you feel about the chapter? We're going to talk about that more tomorrow. How do you feel about the Viver card, the SBS? Give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys all so much. Guys, again, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.